person you are trying to reach is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after the tone. When you have finished, please hang up or press the pound key for more options.
My name is Ivan Garcia. I had called in maybe February. The cases were at 808 Armijo Place in Albuquerque, but it's Bernalillo County. Those 2 times that I might have been inappropriate, I apologize, but tomorrow at 8:45 a.m., I don't know if it would be too hard to ask any help, because I hadn't improved a bunch with if there was any offers for getting the place cleaned up, but apparently I'm getting this note from my dad today. It's some official paperwork called Notice of Mental Health Hearing, Virtual Hearing. I was helping, I thought, by trying to post any photographs on the Facebook or YouTube or the videos and then the albums, because everything had fallen apart and it was hard for, even at the door, to be humiliated that I had gotten so bad and not been able to explain the difficulty with trying to get my dad's help, or not knowing that you might have been with the MCT office and already showing some disrespect from back in 2019. There was an officer that had visited from then, and I might not have recognized anybody, but that I was able to post some from these mistakes recently. It all might look really bad with the location being my family's home in such a bad situation. Why I was asking help with the records from therapy, from family therapy for 9 years with Marty Rasmussen. I've made a few different attempts, I guess, maybe in these last few weeks. But with this virtual hearing, it might make it possible to try to take them on at least a tour. The bigger pieces of cash, my dad had just not even wanted to help with, stuff getting to this point. He was taking my heart rate and everything, so he was jotting it down when he was coming by up to the point that I fell and I hit my head, and he drove me to the hospital during lockdown, and then I don't think shots were out yet. So just that small amount of time from it to get from really bad to now, everything that was up to that point, if I was able to upload some videos, I'm sorry this message is too long, but I'm just trying to call in advance if anybody before 8:45 a.m. You might be the better one, but if I called the other phone number, it was Apodaca number 263, and you were really taking things well, so I think I can try the number underneath it or the one on the opposite side. But all other officers were helping in February, but I might have been messing things up worse. So, I apologize, and I still needed to get a lot better at whatever I needed to improve with in the last 3 months. If I was just not asking help better or something, it might look bad to a judge. But I don't want to be upsetting anybody, so I appreciate what you had done, and I'm sorry for me acting up or anything like that. I might need to try to make amends in something. But it's only got 15 minutes at 8:45 a.m. tomorrow, the 22nd of May, at 808 Armijo Place. I really am sorry, but you might be busy. Please stay safe, and thank you for trying to help.
911. Your call may be monitored or recorded. Please note that we cannot give you legal advice and cannot personally represent you in a case. If you have a complaint against a business or a government agency or would like to report a scam or fraud, press 1. For the Murdered and Missing Indigenous Women's Hotline, press 2. If you are calling about fire recovery issues, including price gouging for services or accommodation, press 3. For all other calls, press 4. To hear these options again, press star.
This is Jessica. How can I help you?
Hi, I don't know if there was an Amira or a Crystal at this number. I have a bunch of notes about having to have a need to try to get in contact with the Department of Justice, and then there was also some kind of complaint formality first, but it was part...
Okay, so did you fill out a complaint?
No, there was an Amira had been trying to help, but I had gotten, my situation might be juvenile cases that the Department of Justice had to get involved with, and it was juvenile records that were needed for this virtual health hearing with a judge tomorrow for the Bernalillo District Court, but 3 months ago trying to get help with the Department of Justice because they dealt with the juvenile cases. When Amira was trying to get in contact with me, and I already have something wrong with my head, she might have communication skill issues in the job, with communication skills being a problem that I'm trying to ask help with. It might not have been taken too well, so then trying to call back and finding out that I messed up because I wasn't taking the call right, and then they were doing everything they could.
So are you wanting to talk to Amira?
Well, that was part of it before. Now it's gotten to go to court where I have to defend my mental health sanity when I was trying to get help with getting the records from the juvenile cases, like getting my head cracked open or getting kidnapped from 3rd grade, or my sister taking a knife to a
What's
kid.
Your name?
My name is Ivan. I don't want to take up any time if you guys are going to be closing in, oh my god, 2 minutes? Oh my god.
What's your name? Don't worry about that. What's your name?
Ivan Garcia.
Okay, so yeah, you don't have to worry about the time. I'm not going to hang up on you because it's 5. It's completely fine. I'm going to try to assist you in what I can. Okay.
Well, it's really, really hairy, and all of the years that it's gone unhelped for these types of cases, it was right before lockdown to find out, telling the police that I just figured it out then, like, oh, my sister had a case against me, and it was the prosecutor's office that was being the ones that were upholding the rights, which was in their rights.
So Ivan?
Right.
Okay, it's getting a little confusing, so let's just go ahead and go through this. So you are calling regarding, what were you trying to do?
Well, the mistake was in high school. I had been charged, and I went to juvenile rehabilitation. So any skills that I was gaining and getting better, if it all can help with defending something getting really bad now, where my sister might be in such a bad situation, she might be, my dad only telling me that last week he went up to Vegas and he saw that she might be doing really bad, like health-wise, and 5 years ago I just figured out all this stuff about our cases being kid cases, and it all coming up in the news. Anytime I try to call any kind of authority figure like Adult Protective Services, it might have just been happenstance for the buildup of not knowing so much stuff like Adult Protective Services, or even up to like the mistakes with, you know, messing up a few months ago. My dad had been not helping with food, and the therapy that we had gone through for 15 years, if it was severe, that need of a civilian to reach out to any help to get the records from the licensed professionals like my therapists, they didn't know to ask me questions if I had forgotten from my head damage from public school. The public school had me tested for ADD, and they still weren't getting the record because I wasn't coming forward and saying my head got cracked open on the public school's recess grounds. My sister had taken a knife to a kid in 5th grade, and then I got charged with aggravated assault against a family member. So that was the prosecutor's office. So the Department of Justice were doing things to their ability. My sister was not wanting to press charges against me, and I didn't know that was a red flag. But then her car was found behind the mountains, and so...
And was this us? And when you say the Department of Justice, is that the federal or is that state? Because before it was the Attorney General's office.
I've made a lot of attempts that I've forgotten from day to day. Today it's just my most recent note that I have a reference to is the police when they were visiting. I got this little piece of paper to write down their phone number and their ID badges and stuff like that. So they were wanting to help, but it was branching out to Albuquerque Police and Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office and Rio Rancho Police Department. And
okay,
I also asked
then,
Kirtland Police Department, and in the Isleta Casino, or the Sandia Casino, my grandma was injured at two different. For her to pass away, it was important for her testimony, but nobody was coming forward as an advocate or mediator to help handle these cases before lockdown. So when I was attending the nonprofit organizations, that might be you was just saying the Attorney General and state and federal. That's where it's way past civilian learning curves that an advocate might actually be way more advanced to do that type of stuff. And if I'm struggling putting together what I can with what skills I've been able to scrape together with all of the help from people in therapy over this time, but my dad all of a sudden is starting to act capricious like that. I had to look up because it was in a cartoon.
So, okay, so let me, you're kind of talking about different situations, okay?
But I'm here at my house. My family cases are really complex because I don't have the level of training to get help on a cold case or a unreported kid case. Multiple different kids before this at the community center.
Ivan, so for this, your initial reason for you to call us right now, you said you had mentioned Crystal, you mentioned Amira.
Right, a manager, because I had messed up with Amira. She was really nice, Amira, but all of this mess up stuff, I'm also using social media inappropriately at the same time, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and X.
Is this regarding the same reason that you contacted us regarding your views and trauma?
Well, it's
so
recent stuff, but it's the past stuff from the juvenile records you guys might be able to help. I don't know if it's advertised, but it's community outreach. If the community has a situation that is far above their learning curve, there might need to be some kind of help, so it's not stepping on the wrong toes or barking up the wrong trees. But the legitimacy of the mandate to report, it falls under criminal charges if a little kid cannot read or write. And I have to reach out to people on social media that I forget from day to day. Each time I wake up from like a nightmare, it's waking up to reality, which is a horrible nightmare. I'm in a hoarder situation, but I don't know how to call the trash company, because they had it go from a $5 charge to a $15 charge for an extra trash bucket to get the different like aluminum can to save money. If my dad is starving me because he's given his cousins the food boxes from the free food, I had to call some fraud phone number for some other organization with the inspector general. That report might not even get through because I left an email, but I don't get a response on the email. I get kicked off of X.
So you're saying that, okay, it's getting a little confusing to
It is hard. It is hard. I'm sorry.
Right. So I'm just trying to understand. So what were you hoping to get out of this call?
Oh, I had a phone number, and on this little piece of paper, it's the note next to it says Amira, and then the note next to that says Crystal. And next to that, it might be like a little 2025 IT 19. They're just little scratches on a line for one of those notepads, you know, they fit in their little breast pocket. The police, right? They'll leave the case number, and then they'll leave a phone number for calling the BCSO. So you guys deal with both like federal and state and the whole New Mexico type thing. So even cases like the Jeffrey Epstein thing, you guys can validate or verify the certain level of like expertise that a civilian family might not have more than a high school education if lucky. And if it's even further back, you might know that the records before World War II might be more in Spanish. Not to insult too many people about New Mexico, but they might not even be from here working at jobs, you know, having to deal with like family issues that are with religion and stuff. The Catholic Church cases, you guys would have way more ability than any civilian family, right? To help any of those 350 cases.
Just so you know, there's things that fall under our scope and there's things that don't.
Right. Criminal.
If you're wanting to file like something with the police, that is where you would go. Like if you want to.
Well, I've tried, and there's a piece of paper in front of me for tomorrow, a virtual hearing. So at least I can tell this person that I've posted every mistake on Facebook to help with anything that I knew from skills in life. Taking dumb photographs in class might actually help to defend myself to my dad abusing me if he was an altar boy, and it's too close to me to want to say anything wrong to disturb my family's worth at holding on to some family values. Community outreach to the Department of Justice, if it's a complaint department type thing, that maybe when you needed to disclose finding my sister had taken a knife to a kid in 5th grade, the defense for her side might have been that that kid was assaulting her in sex ed, that she needed to borrow a knife from me to defend herself when she was left alone with boys from Boy Scouts or older Boy Scouts, right? So those types of cross-contamination cases that weren't getting help for girls, my older sister might be in a harsher situation, 18 months older than me, and people have not been treating her at all well after the age of 18. If her car was found behind the mountains, further from my mom's apartment, or my dad's apartment, and it was always a red flag. But nobody was bringing up anything. Even in 2018, if I was able to make contact with Adult Protective Services for my grandma, for my grandpa, for my cases now, and then it falls on the criminal charges that civilians have no funding to get help. The criminal charges take them over in the news cases, and it looks like it puts the firms out of their jobs. The concept that artificial intelligence might be able to help out with these middleman issues. The DOGE is going through so many different federal agencies to make people out of jobs. Why isn't it out there that those people are going to be free up to maybe help out with new nonprofits that might never even gotten to start at a good time, that they should shut down? That the nonprofits, that the Department of Justice, it isn't really exactly exact, but that same offices that monitor the entire history of 7,000 different nonprofits to get started in New Mexico throughout the history of the program. That's just online information that most civilians can't really get through to find if there's any local nonprofits that help out male survivors. But it's a joke. It's comedy content that on YouTube it's easier to find documentary style video essays on the topic of how kid cases might fall under male survivors. And if male survivors go to the Rape Crisis Center of Central New Mexico and get discriminated against, and there's piece by piece bits of like opportunities that maybe might have helped out before lockdown, and it was barely getting their help at first, but maybe some of the people didn't like how I was presenting myself because I'm a boy, and they didn't have any boy representatives to help with the stuff.
So for this, what were you expecting with this call? I know that in the beginning...
Well, now I have the Bernalillo County Second Judicial Court paper in the matter of Ivan Anthony Garcia, notice of mental health hearing.
You have a court hearing
No,
tomorrow.
it's a video thingy. It's 15 minutes on a video.
So
Virtual hearing.
you have a meeting.
That sounds really cool. No, I get to show them what you guys have been doing this whole time, right? Because you guys are on a recorded call, right? Because it's a referral of every other call that I've ever made. That these cases for kids, my mental health has been degraded by the services that our system has been available to freely offer services and resources to male survivors in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Do you think social media is going to handle this court case tomorrow really well? It doesn't matter how many people I don't have as friends on my account. If it still gets to 5,000 people, if I have unfriended everybody, unfriending everybody after 15 years, you think those people will not accept